Well, hello everybody, it's Richard here, and this is part 6 of the Columbia 118 series, and this afternoon I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things. Parish notices to start with then. First of all, a book I'm reading currently, it's called A Modest Maestro, the Lou Stone story. So those of you who are interested in dance band music, this is a really good read, a very easy read I have to say, and I sent away for it. It's £12 on Amazon, and certainly gives a good insight into Lou Stone and Joyce Stone, who's recently sadly passed away, and how she met her husband. There's a nice photograph of her in there on her wedding day with Lou, and their life together. Also, of course, it cites Al Bowley and all the other members of the dance band era, really, and their life together. So a really good shout out for this particular book. Certainly worth a read. The other thing is, I thought I'd play you this afternoon another number from the Digby Fairweather collection. This is the second CD that I've got from him. The first one, I met him in Maidstone at the Pizza Express music room, and he signed the CD for me. This is an older one. This one was produced, I think this came out in, let me just check, 1997, so it says in the line notes here. So this one's called recorded Delivery. It was actually sponsored by none other than the Post Office, and I'm going to play you a track with Dave Shepherd. Now, Dave Shepherd was known as the British Benny Goodman, and I have to say he's certainly as good as, if come close to, Benny Goodman's playing. So if you like jazz clarinet music, well, just hold fire for a second before we start talking about this nice gramophone, because I'm going to play that for you right now. So what I'm going to do is take Mr GoPro off his perch and set the Sony vertical drive CD player going. Just hold a second for a minute while I just turn this round. There we go. Right, okay, here we go. Now I've got to get the right track, so let's just have a look here before we go. So there we go, track 4, and let's go. Enjoy. there we go. It's really good. And Dave Shepherd still plays as well as he did on this particular track, even though it's not 1997 but 2015. So there we go. Just turning now to the 118, the Columbia 118. I'm just going to move outside first of all to give you a bit of an update of where we are on things out here, all things. So before I talk about other parts of this machine, I've now managed to source some very nice feet. Now the original feet, if you remember, are these ones, and they've gone completely hard, and so would probably, well, they would scratch any surface that you put them on, but also they weren't level either. They'd sort of obviously where they've been sitting. So I've managed to source some new ones from my local, would you believe, B&Q, and these are really nice. And though they came with a sticky pad to stick them on, I've actually screwed them on with some new screws just to give them that little bit of firmness. I've also painted the underside, which was a bit rough, so I've rubbed that down, but I've used PVA glue, as you can see there, just a bit line of it, just to sort of smooth that off quite nicely. That's really worked well. And the other thing that I've done now is I've given the case about 3 coats of polish, and also stain, teak stain, light teak stain, so it's really coming up now. If I just, you hold with me a second, I'll see if I can just turn this off. There we go. There are the louvers there, so it's really looking very nice now, and got a nice luster. Got the luster back. Remember that, of course, it was when it was chucked into the skip, this was all very badly cracked, and I've had to clamp this and stick it back. I've taken the little ferrule off there. I'll show you that in a minute. I'll clean that up, and so it's looking really, really good. Some of the marks have come off from its tired life, or hard life, not tired life. I've left some there because I think it adds a little bit. I've varnished the top surface here where the lid will close. The lid actually is going to need some work because I'm going to rub that down, but I'll show you that in another video. But it's taken a while to get us this far, but I don't know about you, I think this doesn't look too bad now. So it's a labour of love, but it will really come along very nicely. Moving back into the workshop. Now, this is the motor board. We now have the motor back on the motor board, and I fitted the new brake here, which does work very well. The speed selector's been put back in again. I've got to obviously set it all up, that hasn't been done yet. And the motor, there we go, she's back there, using those bushes, those rubber bushes, which are in fact tap washers. 3/4 inch tap washers. I've used those, and the old ones have now gone, so that's good. So that's another stage we've got to. Now the internal reflector horn, I've now, I don't know if you can see that or not, I've given that a coat of gloss paint because it's quite chipped at the front, and the bit that you see when the louvers actually open. So I've actually given that some paint there. And I've managed to find some screws. Oh, by the way, these, oh, here we are. These are the bushes that were very, very brittle. They're hard as steel, actually. They're the ones that the motor board has, so I've just kept those to show you. I've managed to find some screws that will actually fit and fit onto and sink into the tone arm plinth or board. There we go. That's where they go. That sits over the top of that, and also a washer, a nice washer that will seal it so that you get the maximum amount of air pressure from the tone arm, and of course the sound box. Now the sound box, let me just move that out here. I've managed to find a sound box. It's a number 4 box. It's not a Columbia sound box, but I've managed to find this one on the internet, on eBay, and I've cleaned it up. So here we go. So it's a number 4. Sounds really good